Hey, folks, welcome to Out for Coffee.
With Mike and Laurie.
Hi, Laurie.
Hi, Mike.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I just dribbled some coffee on my chin, so that's great.
First day with a new mouth.
Testing it out.
You're looking a little pink there.
Oh, I would like to say it's the lighting, but it certainly is not.
No.
This is, I spent my day today. On the day that we're filming this, it is gorgeous out today. It
Gorgeous.
is sunny. It's warm, but not too warm. It's all the things you look for in a spring day.
Uh-huh.
And I was fortunate enough to spend my whole day outside. Never for a second thought the sun would be that type of sun today. And as the day and evening is going on, I'm getting more and more red. So we'll see what tomorrow's like.
That you are.
Hi, I'm Mike Crabb.
And I'm Laurie Schultz. Welcome to the show.
We'll have some caffeinated conversation.
And maybe some special guests along the way.
Who knows where the conversation will go? You're out for coffee with Mike and Laurie.
See, my class and I, we check the Weather Network.
For the UV index?
Yeah. Every day we check the Weather Network. And today the UV was high.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Should have sent me a message.
Had you only done your research prior to your outside, whatever.
What did they do before UV index? You just risked it.
Yeah. Back when we had an ozone layer.
Yeah, the good old days.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Did you get outside at all today to enjoy this wonderful weather?
A little bit, but not really. No.
You mean from indoors to your car and then from your car to indoors?
Well, actually, we're building a boat in my classroom.
Actually?
An actual boat.
Oh,
yes.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So we're building this boat and it's our class, the other DE class, and an English class, and I think the leadership class.
Okay.
And so it's per period.
Yeah.
So we're doing this boat thing, and the goal is to launch it into Fanshawe Lake in London in June.
Holy moly.
Yeah, it's like a real boat. And we're making oars, not paddles. I have learned.
Oh wait, what's the difference between an oar and a paddle? Wait.
I don't know.
Oh, I feel like a paddle would have double ends. Like a kayak has a paddle, but a canoe has an oar.
Okay. I will take your word for it. All I know is that we are making oars, like from scratch oars out of just wood planks.
Like whittling oars.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're planing.
I'm you're usually making planes, you're making boats. Oh, that's good. Hey, let's say hi to Rob. Hi, Rob. How are you today? Did you enjoy your beautiful...
I'm doing good, guys. Let me just see if I can...
Are you pink too?
No, I'm not. No, well, I'm not that pink.
You know better.
I'm a bright shade of pale. Or a whiter shade of pale.
A whiter shade of pale?
As the song would say, yes. That's mostly because I hide out in basement offices all the time.
Sometimes you get a good glow going from the heat of the lights on the stage, so I bet
maybe, but it's I'm not an outside guy. I mean, I don't mind outside so much. I shouldn't say that, but direct sunlight and me don't really get along.
Are you a vampire?
pretty much.
I
can sit outside in the shade, no problem at all. But the direct sun,
Count Tecula.
The sunshine is it's not good for me.
A day at the beach is not a day at the beach for you.
Oh, no, it is definitely not a day at the beach for me.
Rob, do you know the difference between an oar and a paddle?
An oar and a paddle. No, off the top of my head. No, I can't say I do.
Do you want to look that up for us? I feel like we need a solution.
I guess we'll look that up.
I'm very curious.
We need to know now.
Have you ever been canoeing before, Laurie?
Do I look like someone who's been canoeing before?
I don't know. You look like a person who went to summer camp, and you would have done something at summer camp.
Summer camp? No, thanks. There's bugs and stuff at summer camp.
So you've never done any type of summer camp? Not like nothing? Not even like a city camp kind of thing or anything like that? A day at the Y? Nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
No.
I'm giving you a hard time about it, but I actually
Were
haven't been
you?
either. No, as a
Yeah,
camp
see?
counselor. I was a camp counselor, so
But that was Camp Crab.
I'm a counselor in training. I haven't got my full certificate yet.
Right. I'll give you a certificate.
Okay, so the oar versus paddle, by the way, it says according to this is Wikipedia or something. Oars are used for rowing, paddles are used for paddling. Wow. That's
It's not
somebody,
wrong.
yeah, I guess. Oars are mounted directly on the boat, and you use one hand on each oar. So if you have like 2 oars, one on either side of the boat.
Yeah.
Paddles, on the other hand, are not attached to the boat, and you hold one paddle with both hands. So
Okay.
so
Then it
that's
sounds like to me, Laurie, that your class is making paddles.
We are
paddles.
making oars.
Oh,
We
they are
making
attached to the
oars.
boat.
So they're going to be attached to
Will
the
be.
boat,
I guess
one
so, yeah.
hand, and you use the attached point to the boat as the pivot for the
I
two of them.
guess.
Yep, those are oars.
I will not be in this boat. Just
No.
putting it out there.
Oh, I was going to say if you're going to be in a boat on Lake Fanshawe, Lake Fanshawe,
Yeah.
that we said, yeah, we want pictures.
You're driving to Lake Fanshawe that
Oh
day,
yes,
right?
I will do. I will be there.
No, everybody's got to pass
Just
a
to
swim
say-
test to be able to go in the boat.
Can you swim? You can swim.
No,
You can. Well, you can't swim.
I can float like
well, that's-
nobody's business.
Well, that's a good
That's
start.
half of swimming.
I can like tread water,
Okay.
and
Well,
I mean I can
that's-
make it from one side of the pool to the other
Mhm.
slowly.
Okay.
Well, that's
But I am the first to die in the Jaws movie, just so you know. Save yourselves. Just that's the way it is. I don't like things. Things like getting going under the water unless I'm holding my nose.
Because you
Right.
okay. Well, there's things that can help you with that. If you're a baby, you can get a little nose clean.
If you're a baby, wow.
He's not wrong. I mean, I'm a baby.
My
Yes.
sinuses. Oh.
I failed my yellow badge when I was like 5.
And so you just gave up.
Apparently.
Scratch it. I'm done. I don't need that
Listen.
yellow
Go back.
badge.
You'll never lose if you never try.
There you go. That's put that on a wall.
Yeah, there you
Sage
are.
words.
I was going to say,
That's my commencement
That's-
speech for the
that's-
kids.
Tell that to your students. Tell that
That's
to your
right.
students.
that's right up there with that T-shirt I just saw the other day. It said, today, I'm really going to give it my sum.
A full 76% out of me today. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
funny.
I like that, Laurie. You will never fail if you don't
You
try.
never
So
try.
there you
We'll get a T-shirt for you, Rob. There you
go.
go.
Wow,
I can do it.
that's-
It'll
That's-
be half done because we won't
That's
finish
right.
it. Yeah.
We never fail because
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
That's it,
Finish it
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, I'm used to doing things half-assed.
well, half-assed and halfway is two very different things.
Well,
So
little from column A, little from column B. Just I'd like to share with everyone today,
oh yes,
everybody out there, I now qualify and classify. I don't know if this is like a prize or anything like that, but after several months of testing and all that jazz, I am now considered a neurodivergent.
What's that mean?
That means
wow,
yeah, there you
Rob,
go.
Google that for me.
holy,
Neurodivergent. I have officially been diagnosed with ADHD.
Oh,
Surprise, says no one.
the everything's lining up a little bit then, isn't it?
Isn't it? All the
How-
puzzle pieces are falling into place for us all now.
A little bit. How did you
Yeah.
feel receiving that news?
Validated.
Right. I
Yeah.
bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because so
that,
much goes on, like in the thought process, right? Like so much goes on. And I know everyone's ADHD is a little bit different, but yeah, just to know sometimes is enough to say, okay, this makes sense. And then you kind of know how to move forward in a way.
And yeah, this was a very thorough examination. This wasn't just going to the GP and asking a couple of questions and say, yeah, okay, that's ADHD. You know,
Right.
here's meds. This was 3 months worth of, I had to do hands-on tests. My mom had to complete some stuff like historically about me. A friend had to do some current information about me now.
Right.
I had to do some type of a personality test, and I have one.
believe it or not.
I know, right?
We've been trying to tell you, Laurie.
It's
Your
a bit
personality
spicy,
is a little.
but I have one. Yeah, so it was a very thorough, and one of the tests that I had to do was pretty wild. It was very boring, and she gave me the results saying that, yeah, you didn't do so well. I'm like, well, no kidding. I had to sit in front of a computer, and I had to, every time the number 1 would flash, I'd had to hit the mouse on the
Okay.
computer. And then they threw in number 1 and then a 2. So I could only hit the mouse when I saw the 1.
Okay.
And then they threw in the audio. 1, 1. So anytime 1 was either said or spoken, I had to hit the mouse.
Interesting.
And this was for 15 minutes.
Oh, how quickly does it fire them off?
Just kind of at a regular pace. Just 1, 2, 1, 2,
Oh.
2, 1.
It
or
sounds
just
kind of
flashing.
hypnotizing.
Well, it's, I guess, designed to test your endurance and your attention and focus on a tedious task.
Interesting. That makes
And
sense.
I like.
I'm sorry. I
Did you fall asleep there, Rob?
I wasn't paying attention.
Well, I found myself just kind of start looking at things in her office, and she had all these books on her bookshelf, and I'm like, ooh, I guess I could have some of those. I like that one, and I like that one, and ooh, I don't have that one yet. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I got to start doing this again. And so then I'm trying to catch up, and I did not do very well on that test.
Oh man. Well, sounds it.
Yeah.
Well, now you know.
Now I know.
Well,
Now I know. It's not going to change who I am, but at least now I can say, hey, there's a reason.
and did they give you like tactics?
There was
Stop it,
always a
Rob.
reason. There was always a
We
reason.
just have professionals.
we
telling us
were
instead
we
of-
were never short of reasons, Laurie. I'll tell you that right now. Let's just put that right up there.
So did they give you like coping techniques and stuff to like to try to focus better, or is it strictly, and if you don't mind me asking, is it strictly medication, or do they like
There's a combo that you can use, like behavioral things, like ways to, I don't know, exercise, not exercises, but just different strategies, I guess, behavioral
Right.
strategies
Yeah,
to try and cope
mechanisms
with
and-
things. And
right?
and there's medication as well. I mean, I just got this diagnosis today, the
Oh,
day that
s-
we're recording this. So I don't have my full report yet, but she's going to list all those things in there.
Right.
And yeah, I'll probably try medication.
Oh, well,
Why not, right?
if it works, it works, right? So
Yeah, if it doesn't, then I do something else. But I think a good combination of the right fix, because you probably noticed out there, everybody, I'm a little all over the place
what?
all the time.
What do we call her? Hijack? She's always
Hijack.
hijacking the
There you go,
conversation.
Rob. Don't you feel bad now?
Oh yes, I feel terrible. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight. As a matter of fact, I feel so bad.
Well, anyway, it's considered a form of neurodivergence. It's a different way the brain works.
Wow. Well, congratulations on it. 46 years young. You are still learning about yourself
Yes.
and growing as a person. That's wonderful.
Yes, I have to stop growing. My doctor says he doesn't want me to get
Hey,
any taller.
Only Mike. Only Mike could turn that into a
It is a good thing.
congratulations.
It is a good
Oh,
thing.
It is a good thing. And you know what?
Personal development. Holy crap, Mike. Put the
If you're-
shovel down. Holy.
There's Mike and his toxic positivity again.
A little deep in here.
Well, you can look at it that way and,
Yeah.
and move forward with it.
Do you know what? It can be seen as a bit of a superpower in some ways.
Tell us.
If you are in the right, I have got things like intuition like nobody's business.
Okay.
And that is one of the symptoms, is really good at reading the room.
Is it because you're thinking of all the different pieces
Yeah.
to what's happening?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess, yeah. And just noticing a lot of things that I don't really know exactly how it works, but
Right. But that could be a part of it.
if I'm telling you the vibe's off, the vibe's off.
Something's probably off.
Yeah. It could be me.
Interesting.
I might be the one who's off, but I'm not. I
This whole
promise. Anyway.
time.
You know what they
The whole
say.
world's been peachy keen and it's just Laurie carrying around all this. Yeah.
But you know what? I think that the more people talk about it, the less of a stigma that happens around things like this. So there you go. Fire away. If
Well,
you guys
and
are
I-
out there and you're neurodivergent too, let us know.
So I think you're absolutely right. And I do think that the amount of people that are undiagnosed or are, you know, they're doing just fine. They don't need to be diagnosed either.
Mhm.
It's probably way higher than we could even imagine.
Could be.
So it's very
And it
interesting.
presents differently in girls than boys.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you have examples of like how it might look different?
Well, from years ago at least, a lot of times the I don't want to be speaking out of turn, but
Right.
from what I understand, um, especially in childhood, a lot of younger boys physically act out the hyperactivity part,
Okay.
where with a lot of girls, the hyperactivity is happening in here.
Interesting.
Where the daydreaming, the not paying attention, the focusing on a whole bunch of different things at once.
It's more of a
That kind
mental
of thing.
state as opposed to a physical.
Yeah. So it's a hyperactive brain as opposed to physically acting it out.
Interesting.
That's what I understand anyway. My God, don't shoot me any hate mail if I'm wrong, but that's what I have been told.
It could be one of the things. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
well,
that's why a lot of people I think of my generation did not get diagnosed, especially the girls.
right. Because they
Yeah.
were just dreamers and
Mhm.
where the guys are going all crazy.
Yeah, I was very
Active.
lucky. I was kind of a smart kid in school, even though like I always handed my work in and it was always top notch.
Okay.
But what the teachers would never know is the struggle the day before to get that work done.
Oh,
Queen of procrastination here, and Mike, I'm pretty sure you know that about me.
well, and I've been able to
Yeah.
grow out of my procrastination a considerable amount. It still lingers around once in a while, but for the most part, I really struggled with it growing up. And where it actually changed for me mostly was when I went to the theater. And there ain't time to procrastinate at the theater because you got a million things on the go and you're trying to get these shows together and there's so many people relying on you. The theater really did good for me for pulling myself out of that routine.
And for me, trying to be a producer for something like that would probably kill me because I just don't have it.
Well, and
to
I
get
think that's
everything
why I
done.
still enjoy doing things like producing because it's a team thing, right? Like you can't let everyone down. So it's a good outlet for flexing that part of my brain that I so rarely want to flex. It's just like here's something that actually makes that part of my brain work well, and so let's do some more of that.
But I work the best under pressure. The last second, the very last possible second. I used to take all my essays in school and like I had a 30-page paper to write in university and I wrote it the night before.
Oh my God.
30-page paper, footnotes, all that stuff.
Oh my God.
I got an A on the paper,
Good for
but
you.
the stress I put myself under to get that paper done. And I would never again, I'm never doing this again to myself until the next paper.
Well, and I've learned something too about adrenaline. And so you get pumping adrenaline when you're like, you're meeting deadlines or not meeting deadlines and stuff like that. And then subconsciously our bodies start to crave that rush. So
it's a good
yes, I know I
dopamine
can do
hit,
it.
right?
I know I can do it. I know I can do it. I mean, maybe I should do it, but I'll just wait because I know it'll happen. And then suddenly we're stressed. We don't want to do anything anymore because we're crying our eyes out because we're so up to our eyeballs. Done. And then we're like, see, it happened the way it needed to happen. Everything is good in the end. And then you have that dopamine withdrawal.
Yeah.
So
but you've just positively reinforced your bad behavior by doing that. Yeah.
By doing it and being successful at it in the end still.
Exactly.
And all the things, right?
All the things.
Oh, we're our own worst enemies.
I know. But you know what? That has nothing to do with your sunburn unless you purposely left packing your sunscreen to the very last second and didn't get it in your bag.
Well, no, that it wasn't a thought at all in my mind.
No, okay.
It's just poor planning.
What were you doing outside?
So we do a thing at United Way. So I work at United Way, right? And every year we do what's called a Day of Caring. And the purpose of the Day of Caring is I work with not-for-profit organizations across Oxford County that need help doing things that may otherwise get overlooked. So like gardening, painting of certain rooms, things that like do help with the overall health of the organization, but is not the work they do or might not have the money to be able to complete these projects because they got to do their programming. So we find these volunteer opportunities. And then what we do is we work with our workplaces that are across Oxford County and we invite them to come out for the day and volunteer. So we get dozens of volunteers from local workplaces to come out to help complete these projects. They learn more about United Way and our purpose in the community and our impact, and they learn more about the agency that they're helping to support by doing these projects. So today I was going out visiting the organizations to vet whether or not these projects were viable, how many people it requires, and how much resources and stuff are needed. So it was a beautiful way to get out and do some touring around Oxford County today. It's an amazing project. It's one of my favorite things about working at United Way.
Cool. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it's a
Very
good
nice.
time.
Would you like to come and paint my house? No. I
Inside
guess
or
that's a no.
out?
Inside.
No, I'd rather do the outside.
Fine.
But you didn't offer that, so we're not coming.
Bite me. Hey, you got anybody who wants to scrape all the crap off my deck? Not
Like
not
actual
literal
crap?
crap.
Okay.
No. Not literal crap. The old staining that's now like peeling
chipping
off.
up and stuff.
Yeah.
So you were saying it was like, because one thing about, here's where I'm grateful about living in an
Springtime.
apartment, and I have to take my dog downstairs and pick up right away after she's done going to the bathroom. But I do know a lot of friends of mine that have dogs, let their dogs out in the backyard, and then there's the spring Easter egg cleanup. All the snow is melted, and you need to go get those piles everywhere. Ugh.
No, thanks.
So that's
No.
exactly what I pictured when you asked me to clean the
No.
crap off your deck.
No.
You're more graceful than that. I should.
Yes. Yeah, I just let it just, return to nature.
Yeah, there you go. Fertilizer. It's fine.
It is.
Yeah. So with summer, now that we're in spring and things are feeling nice and getting a little more spicy out there, do you have any big plans for the summer? What do you like doing when the weather gets nicer?
I like patio season.
Like restaurant patios, going out for a drink.
Yeah, going out for beverage or just, even a coffee, sitting there reading a book on a patio on a nice summer Saturday or even on a Tuesday. It doesn't have to be a Saturday.
Gawking at the walker-bys.
Yeah, I'm an absolute looky-loo. I love to just make up stories about who's going by. And, my neighborhood watch from last year, I'm hoping to bring it back.
Well, I joined you last year for Neighborhood Watch. This is downtown Woodstock, and we would sit and have a drink, a cocktail, and just take it all in.
Watch the neighborhood.
So much stuff happens.
Yeah. On a Friday or Saturday night in downtown.
You think, what can happen in this 45 minutes I'm sitting here having this beer? And
yeah.
It should be a podcast on its own, sightings of downtown Woodstock.
We should just do 45 minutes of footage. We don't have to talk. We could just roll the camera. Just
people would tune in.
People would. Yeah, people would. And then we could have people come and join us for a meet and greet down there. And
there you go.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I like to sit outside, not when it's super hot because I hate the hot.
Just sitting and being hot, right?
Oh, just gross.
Yeah.
Big fan of my central air. Yeah, like with the asthma and stuff when it's really humid outside, I can't go out. So it's nice when it's a morning. I love to sit outside in the morning.
Okay,
when it's still relatively cool, and have a book or at least a podcast, and I don't know, scroll on my phone while I'm listening to a podcast.
That works.
That sounds like I'm nothing too exciting.
No, but you don't need exciting as long as you enjoy it.
I do like to go to the beach once in a while, but not to tan at the beach, just to, even on a cool day, just to sit there and hear the water.
I've experienced one of those with you.
Yes.
In where were we? Port Stanley. We went to Port Stanley to go there. Yeah.
We did.
I do like that too. I don't love beaches per se.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of beaches in this area in southwestern Ontario. They're very gravelly. Or there's one beach in Port Franks. I have relatives that have cottage in Port Franks, and it's very sandy sand, and it's also more sandy at least than Grand Bend, and it's like a giant sandbar too. So it's really shallow water for a really long while. So I don't know if it's my mind, but it feels warmer than your typical water too.
Yeah, I can't go to the beach.
I'm not a big swimmer. I don't mind. Doing the take off your shoes and roll up your pants and take a little water stroll. I don't mind that.
Yeah, but just going in the water.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Fish live there.
I don't want to go above my knees if I don't have to.
Yeah. That's like a home invasion. We're invading the fish homes.
I suppose so.
If a fish came to my back door, I'd have no problem pummeling them with a big steel pipe.
But not a rat. But not a rat.
No, not a rat.
Okay.
Well, I don't want the rat coming inside my back door. It belongs outside.
Okay.
But anyway, if a fish tried to come in, that's an intruder. That's a home invader.
Okay,
So I
that's
would,
where you will lay
yeah, I would
worries.
bash his brains in with a steel pipe. So I would not expect anything different from them, from us intruding on their domain.
Okay.
See
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah, that makes logical, perfect sense.
maybe it's because of all the times I watched Piranha and Jaws. I don't know.
That adds up.
It does, right? There's a little bit
Uh,
of anxiety included in that ADHD diagnosis as well, just so you know.
Oh
How
man.
about you? What are you doing in the spring?
Well, we just this weekend, it was a nice weekend, and we went for a nice walk because the dam at Piddock here in Woodstock opened, so you can walk across it.
Ooh.
And so it's a really beautiful walk.
Is
You
it?
should take it, because what we do is, because we live north of Piddock Lake, we walk down through Piddock Conservation Area,
Okay.
and then we'll wrap around to the dam, and we walk over the dam, which is just it's cool. It's different. There's a lot of frolf playing. Did you know we have a frolf course?
Frolf? A frolf course?
Yeah, frisbee golf.
Didn't George Costanza invent that?
I think he did
I
talk
think
about
he
frolf
did
before.
too.
I think
He
you're right.
did.
Come to think of it, it's a thing. I remember living in Toronto and coming across this like net of chains randomly in a park, and I was like, it looks like something you would hang like meat from to dry or something. I don't know.
Mm.
And I never knew what it was. And then moved to Woodstock, and they put one in on the north end of the dam. If you walk over the dam, you'll see them right there. And yeah, it's this netted chain. It almost looks like a, I don't know. You'll have to Google it.
Okay.
And what you do is you got your, I don't know if they call it a tee off or wherever you start. You throw your frisbees, and the thing is, they got backpacks filled with different types of frisbees, different weights, different grades, and the purpose is to get it to go into this chained net, and as little throws as you can, and not something that I particularly have an interest in playing or learning more about, but it was busy. There was like 4 groups of like 4 to 5 guys playing it at that one time, of us spending the 10 minutes walking through there. It was wild. So we're missing out on something, maybe.
Well, it sounds kind of pointless, but hey, to each their own.
To each their own.
To each their own.
They're being a hell of a lot healthier than most things we've chosen to do. So, well, hey, no, I was
That's
out for
true.
a walk. I was doing something healthy.
I was working.
Were you?
So,
Were you?
yes, of course I was.
On the weekend, you weren't working.
A little bit.
You have that look on your face, like, quick, think of something.
Well, anyway, I was doing lots of things on the weekend.
Okay.
And Meaty went for a walk on the weekend. Of
And
course he
Meaty
did.
went for,
So, yeah.
good.
You notice it's nice and quiet in here?
I did. I heard him bark a minute ago, but I think he was in
Did
another
you?
room. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
It was a while ago.
Okay, he's drugged. So,
Oh, nice and sedated, having a nap.
hey, Meaty, does this smell like chloroform? Speaking of Meaty and speaking of spring,
Yeah.
have you ever encountered a skunk?
Not directly. Indirectly, I've been within a matter of 30, 40 feet from one, but I've never encountered one, which means it found me. Did one find you?
Not me personally. No.
Mm-hmm.
A couple months ago, when apparently mating season for skunks starts in February.
Oh, so early.
Yeah. So I let Meaty out for his morning backyard ritual to go out, and he came back to the door, and I'm like, "Ooh, must be a skunk out there somewhere."
Oh,
because there's one that happens outside every once in a while, right? Like just out across the road.
right.
I opened the door and let Meaty in, and then I was like, "Ooh." He had been sprayed in the face.
Oh no, poor guy.
Yeah. And skunk that's dissipated throughout the air outside stinks.
Oh yeah.
When it's saturated into your dog's face and he's in your house, it was wild. It was like nothing I've ever smelled before.
I bet.
So I'm thinking, well, I'm on my way to work now.
So
So I can't let him just sit in the house. I've already let him in, so the house stinks now.
right.
So I thought, well, I guess we're both getting in the shower. So I was on my way to work, but I guess I was getting back in the shower.
Right. He made up your
And
mind for you.
yeah, so I gave him a little bath in the shower, like, a little shampoo
Okay.
of Dawn soap and baking soda. I didn't have any
Okay.
peroxide, but I know you can use peroxide.
All right. But
And
just
I
Dawn
thought,
soap and
well,
baking soda, does it?
you're supposed to use peroxide with it,
Oh, okay.
but I thought, well, this is what I have, so this is what I'll use.
Sure.
And gave him his little bath there, a little shampoo. And I thought, well, I gotta get to work now. So good luck, Meaty.
Peace.
Yeah, it was one of those really warm days in February, so I had the windows open.
Oh, well, thank
And
God.
no kidding, no kidding. And I get to work, and all of a sudden, there's a lot of sniffing going on at work.
Okay.
And let's
Oh,
make
you're
a
the
long story short here, Mike.
okay.
I got sent home from work because I stunk.
You're the stinky person at work.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I remember now.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
remember
Canada
reading about this.
happens.
Yeah.
And as I'm as I'm standing up for O Canada, I look and I see out my classroom door the boss giving me the finger, come here, look. I'm
Oh.
like, uh-oh, I'm getting hauled in. And it was basically, you can't be here. I'm like, oh, okay. So,
Oh, walk of shame.
I always thought I was going to be asked to leave someday, but I never really thought it was going to be for that.
Hey, well,
Yeah.
now you can say. So, how long did it take for you to de-stink?
Well, what I did was I went directly to PetSmart
Okay.
and got some
Stinky and all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, and I went to No Frills too, because I wanted to get some tomato soup. Not tomato
Okay.
soup, tomato juice. Tomato juice.
Yeah.
I was trying all the myths and legends and anything, right? So the tomato juice, and I got some more baking soda, and I got 4 liters of vinegar and some baking soda, and did I say peroxide? Peroxide as well.
Yeah.
I got some peroxide, and so I'm obviously they knew what I was doing.
Right.
I mean, it just
Because they can
anybody
smell
within-
you from the other side
yes.
of the store.
Anybody within 10 feet of me knew exactly what I was doing. So then I went over to the PetSmart, had to get this de-skunk stuff. And then I
Okay.
went home, took all my clothes off and put them in the washing machine while Meaty and I got back into the shower, and we both had tomato juice shampoos
Okay.
and Dawn peroxide, baking soda, like scrubs.
Yeah.
And I was on the horn with school. I'm like, can I come back? And I basically had to go through the sniff test before I could come back. So once my
Was it a scratch and sniff note? They give you a little scratch
No.
to make sure it wasn't just covered in perfume.
I did a 2 shampoo with the juice, and then I did another shampoo with the Dawn, and like this was all within a couple of hours, and my clothes were clean and dry, and I went back, fingers crossed, and yeah, I passed the sniff test.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
I feel like a tomato juice wash down would be like stingy, like
No.
acidy stingy.
Well, only if you had maybe some open sores.
Oh,
which
you
I
weren't pouring
don't.
it directly into your eyeballs? Oh, okay,
No.
that's- okay.
No. Or all of my lesions all over my body. Or I wonder what this would feel like. No, it was pretty wild though. But when I got home, it took weeks to get the absolute smell out of the house.
Or are you just nose blind? Is it still there and you're just
Oh no,
nose
it's
blind
not
to
here
it?
anymore. It's not here anymore.
Okay.
But you know what? This has been 2 months. Actually, this week will be the 2-month anniversary of this. And Meaty's face, his muzzle still smells like skunk if you get close enough.
Oh, and he gets close to you too.
Oh, yeah, he's
if I'm
right
sitting on the
there.
couch, he's right there. He
Uh-huh.
wants to
And-
say hi.
And if he gets wet
Yeah.
right now, then you can still you can smell a little bit. I mean, it doesn't smell like a giant skunk thing, but it's a little bit. It almost smells a little sour, like a little off.
I hear you. Yeah, that doesn't sound great, does it?
So be careful out there, kids. And now I guess the baby skunks will be out soon. So
soon enough, I guess. It's that season.
Yeah, it's that spring, baby. That's spring.
I've actually, it's funny. Today when we were out touring around and looking at gardens and stuff like that, the number of places that have to deal with skunks is high. The amount of skunks that are around, you don't see them all that often. They are everywhere, and people are live catching them and taking them and releasing them.
Yeah,
which is very kind of them, because I don't know if I feel comfortable live catching a skunk. They say if you catch it in the cage and put a blanket over it, you're fine. But
Well,
I
maybe.
I don't know.
You know, we had a skunk in our garage when I was growing up. Did I ever tell you this story?
I don't think so.
He had his head caught in the snowblower.
Oh,
He was alive. He was just a
Yeah.
little guy. He was alive.
just nosy and got caught
He
in the
was,
wrong
yeah,
spot.
but he was kind of dangling out of the snowblower.
Mm.
And so my dad called the city and said, hey, what are we going to do with this? And they're like, hey, it's your garage. It's your skunk, man.
Right.
And my dad's like, well, what if I borrowed a rifle from the neighbor?
Okay.
And the city was like, then you're going to be charged with discharging a firearm in the city.
Yeah,
And I
that's
was
a
like,
problem.
well, so what are we going to do? So my dad went next door to our next door neighbor, who he knew quite well.
Uh-huh.
But this man was from Portugal. And apparently
Okay.
there are no skunks in Portugal. He had no idea what a skunk was.
Okay.
My dad says, well, why don't you go into the garage and look for that little black and white kitty that's hanging out of that machine? And now, what we learned during all of that was that a skunk can't spray if his back feet aren't touching the ground.
Wait, I thought squirrels kind of did handstands though. Don't they do a weird runny handstand thing when they spray?
Skunks? You said squirrel.
I meant skunk.
Yes. I don't know what squirrels are capable of, but they that's what we were told by the wildlife people from the city, is that they cannot spray unless their back feet are touching the ground.
Interesting.
Which was why they said you can go into that garage. If he's dangling, he can't spray you. They have to get leverage, I guess, to lift the tail up.
All right.
Yeah.
Flex the right muscles to just
yes.
push. He could have also just started the lawn, the snowblower.
Then Mike, remember those jokes? What's black, white, and red all over? Skunk and a snowblower. Gross.
It's funny too what you were saying earlier about the black and white kitty. A friend of mine lives out in the country. This is back in like close to high school days, and she had a friend who was not familiar with skunks either. She's from a different country, and she was outside with the dog. The dog's name's Randy. She's outside with Randy, and she comes running in the house, and she's like, Amy, a black and white squirrel just sprayed chemicals all over Randy. And they're like, no, that's exactly what happens if you don't know it. That's exactly
a black and white squirrel.
Sprayed chemicals.
Yeah. A very good, concise version of that description. Yeah. Well, we ended up getting it out.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Just by
they had to go and dislodge him from the snowblower, and then they ran like the devil.
Yeah.
Now my dad was a large man.
Right.
And athletics, not necessarily his bag, but I think he was MVP that day. They made it to the end of the driveway.
At least he was an MVP. You.
Remember Pepe Le Pew?
Yes.
Mon chéri. Yeah. So the skunk kind of got out and wandered away, and did spray. So the garage smelt for the rest of that summer like skunk.
Yeah, it would.
But hey, but at least no one was injured.
Yes.
And at least the skunk got away with his life. I mean, that poor thing, he was probably starving and dehydrated, and yeah.
Yeah, it's probably a rough go for him.
He could have come to my barbecue. I could have given him some leftovers, and he could have hung out with the barbecue rat.
Some leave-ins for the rat and him.
No, I've already got a skunk apparently in my backyard.
Do you ever get like snakes or anything in your backyard?
Never seen a snake. No. There's bunnies. I have bunnies that live under my deck.
When we go for walks, we'll go for trail walks. And for the most part, we don't really come across too much, except at Piddock, at Roth Park. There's a lot of headless birds. So when the crows come through, I think it's coyotes and stuff will get them. Raccoons.
Are they the crows? Are they my crows?
They're the crows. I'm sorry, I didn't give you a warning before I threw that one at you, but there's a lot of dead crow bodies. Carcasses around, and the hens are there. They're just not attached. It's very disturbing. So we've come across.
Maybe we have a cult.
So I was like 100%. There's stuff going on in those bushes over there. There's people living here. This is their warning to try to keep us away from their area.
Yeah,
it could be. Maybe I don't know.
Hey, I'm gonna start a cult if you like.
Oh,
you want to get in on the ground floor?
Sure. What are we doing?
Oh, I'll think of it. I'll just think of it as we go. That's how I roll. Make it up as we go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, in a
That,
way,
that's sad though about the crows.
I know that's very sad, right? So it's disturbing and it makes you feel ugh. But there hasn't been too many things. When we're up north, like if we're in Blue Mountain and stuff, and we're going for a walk, little trail walk, there are quite a bit of snakes, and I'm fine with a snake until it moves. Like if I know it's there, okay,
Yeah.
and if I can walk, I'm okay. But if it moves at all,
Have you ever held a snake?
nope, not.
Would you? Would you?
I have zero desire to. Like,
Hmm.
why? If I needed to, like, if you were trapped and I needed to save you, no. But if Kevin was trapped and I needed to save him, I would grab it and throw it out of the way. I have no like to pet it, to no, to
Just to
cuddle
hold
with
on
it.
to it.
No, that's all right. There's no
My niece has
benefit.
a snake,
Oh well.
and she was one day, hey Aunt Laurie, want to hold my snake, thinking I'd be like, and I was like, yeah, sure. So I had this boa constrictor just hanging on to him, and it was actually quite beautiful. Snakes don't bother me. Now, if this was a spider,
Okay, which I also have a problem with.
yeah, as do I. Yeah, there'd be no chance
Not happening.
in hell that I would be holding onto a spider.
I know what you mean, but see, I know it's not most snakes, but like the fact that a snake, if you let it get around you, you're toast. Like if it gets wrapped around, it's gonna keep wrapping around constrictors and stuff, right?
That's a constrictor, yeah.
Yeah, but like
It
I don't know.
constricts.
Same with like octopus. Like if you're swimming and an octopus decides it likes your toes and it grabs your leg, and it's like you don't have much choice. You're
See?
either staying with it or it's coming with you.
And he has every right to do that. Back to my theory about that's a home invasion. You're in his house. If he wants to grab your leg and slam you against a rock, he has every right to do it.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong, Laurie.
I know, Mike. I think about this a lot.
Spent a lot of time worrying about that.
That's right. You know, when I was a kid, I thought this was going to be a much bigger problem than it actually is. But
like quicksand, I thought for sure I was going to die of quicksand at some point in my life.
Quicksand seemed to be a much bigger problem than it turned out to be.
It's always going to be around.
It was because of Atreyu.
Now in Toronto, there is a neighborhood. Wait, what did you say? Atreyu?
It's because of Atreyu from the Neverending Story. The horse.
Oh,
Atreyu and his horse Artax.
No, there you go. That's the horse that we don't want to talk about that.
No, that made me cry.
But I forgot what I was just going to say.
You're saying something about a neighborhood in Toronto?
There's a neighborhood in Toronto.
Yeah.
That has a quicksand pit.
No.
Yeah. I can't tell you the name of it, but I remember it's a thing.
How many people have you thrown into it?
Well, that's kind of the like thing, is that rumor has it things have been disposed of. People who didn't want things to be found.
Really? So how does Toronto get a, like, who just has a quicksand pit?
It's not like it's an installation and they decided to put it. It's a consistency of the type of soil and the moisture. Often it's I believe from like ponds and stuff, and it looks like regular ground.
Yeah, and
you can almost for some quicksand you can almost walk on it, but if you stop for a second, it's like you stepped in mud, right? And your foot will get a little stuck. But when you're lifting to pull your foot up, you're actually driving your other foot further in. So the more you do that, the more you sink down.
Well, so that's it. No, I can't go back to Toronto.
Do you know what you're supposed to do if you get caught in quicksand?
Cry.
Well, yeah.
What are you supposed to do?
Now, please don't quote me on this. This is my understanding. Is if you lay down more, so it creates more surface area.
Okay, so you're spreading out the pressure.
For help. You scream for help while you lay down, and somebody can
help.
throw
I'm
you
in
a rope
quicksand.
Or something. Yeah.
Are we bothering you, Mike, or am I boring you? Or are you you playing Candy Crush here?
I am looking up. There is quicksand in southern Ontario. In fact, there's quicksand almost everywhere. Anywhere there is a river or creek. So the more you know.
I can't handle it.
Toronto Star, June 12th, 2015, boulevard excavation filled with foot-sucking quicksand.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
So, hey, you know what? We are talking about this. Now that we're talking about this, we put it out in the universe. We're going to be stepping in some quicksand soon, I feel like.
I can't leave the house now. Thanks. You've just wrecked my summer. All these things we've been talking about, the beautiful weather and hanging out outside and parks and stuff like that. And now I am going to get sucked into quicksand.
You're dying of quicksand this summer for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's great. That's a lot. Can't handle it. You know what? I don't know if you can see this. Those who are just listening, I have a giant 64-ounce bottle of water.
It's humongous.
It's humongous, and I'm almost to the end of it today.
I think
I'm
something
excited.
like congratulations. And you put some lovely fruits and sprigs of what
I got
is it?
rosemary,
Okay.
pineapple, and raspberry in it.
Does rosemary make it taste better? Is there a
I like
benefit?
it. Sure, it's an herb.
But like, doesn't it taste like a turkey?
Mm-mm.
Does it taste like gravy?
No,
What are you doing?
I think you're misunderstanding rosemary.
No, rosemary has a very distinct.
I always
smell
put
and
rosemary in my lemonade, my homemade lemonade.
I have never heard of that being a thing.
It is delicious. Sometimes I will put basil and cucumber together in my water.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Mhm.
Basil, I don't know if I agree with necessarily either, but I don't know. Rosemary has a very
It's subtle when you add the fruit. It's a nice combo.
well, there
And
you
this is
go.
a nice summer drink. Like
Okay, well,
sometimes
sure.
water is boring sometimes.
So I think that what you have, that giant water bottle, is obnoxious. I think it's
You're obnoxious.
Hold on a second. I think it's so unnecessary coming from the guy who complains about not drinking nearly enough water. And you know what
Yes.
I love about it? And the reason why I myself am going to buy one of these giant obnoxious things is that it has the times of day down it
Yes,
to
it
remind you
does.
where you're meant to be at for your water drinking for the
If
day.
you're listening, yes, I'm.
Oh, and it even has words of affirmation. You got this.
You
Every sip
got this,
counts.
baby. Yeah, hydrate and celebrate.
That's what I need. I need a cheerleader keeping me on track all day while I drink my water. Because I think if I did have something like that, I would actually do better at just getting used to actively making the choice to drink more water. I do feel like it would help me.
I should make my own water bottles, but with like jerk things on them.
Sure, I bet it would
Like,
sell.
yeah, like keep going, dummy, or you're only this far, dumbass, or just keep going because you're going to dehydrate and turn into a mummy, or I don't know.
So these are the thoughts that are constantly running through your head. Just
yeah.
This is the inside of your brain all the time.
Yeah. You guys getting all this out there?
All of it.
You don't want to be in here. Trust me. This brain is it's working 24/7, and I don't know. There's just so many things in there.
It's something else.
It's a piece of work.
Well, I'm grateful for it. There you go.
Thanks.
I'm grateful for it. Well, Laurie, I have really enjoyed our little summertime chat. We're not summer, we're springtime chat, I should say.
Well, we went everywhere.
We kind of bounced around.
Yeah.
Quicksand to skunks to all of the things.
To ADHD to
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing and being so open with us, because I do love getting to know you more, and it's great that
you don't have a choice.
I found
I have no filters, Mike.
It all adds up. Well, thanks for having a nice cup with me today, Laurie.
Yeah, you too, Mikey. It's been
thanks for
good.
joining us as well, Rob. And to our audience, we appreciate you coming out and joining us for yet another episode of Out for Coffee
with Mike and Laurie and Rob.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Do you have questions, comments, or ideas for a future show? Reach out to Mike and Laurie on their social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or email us at mikeandlauriesocials@gmail.com.